Okay, so I've been doing some stem stitching, or what they're calling on this pattern outline stitch, and I think I figured out why they're selling this set so cheaply. I think that there's an error in the printing, maybe a couple of errors, and rather than throw out the whole deal, they're just selling it for clearance price. But that's their mistake is our gain, because it's not a mistake in the it's a mistake in the printing of the instructions, not a mistake in the pattern. The pattern and all the materials, everything else is flawless. So anybody that jumps on this deal is going to get a bargain. Just keep this in mind. The number one thing I think is a mistake is that in the first three projects, or at least the pink project, they called this stitch the stem stitch, and now they're calling it the outline stitch. The same. The outline stitch and the stem stitch are the same thing. But I think another mistake is that they have failed to specify that a bunch of these little loops are lazy daisies. They're calling them satin stitches, and you can get the same effect with satin stitch, and we may have to combine the satin stitch, but we're going to start out with the lazy daisy, and then if it's not tight enough, then we'll add some more stitches to it. As I said, I've been doing this almost all my life. That's a long life, over 75 years. And so you got to, as Kenny Rogers says, you got to know when to hold and know when to fold them. So in other words, and I taught art for many years in schools, and I always hung a big banner around my wall that went all the way around my room. It said, "Rules are made to be broken," and that's the truth. We're going to take what we're told to do, and we're going to interpret that. So what we're going to do, we're going to come right here on. First of all, notice that we have been using kind of a lighter olive color for this stitch, for this stem right here, and for the little lazy daisy looking outgrowths. The color has switched to number 6, which is a darker olive color than what we've already used. So I've separated out 2 strands, and I have videos showing you how to separate the strands. I've knotted it, and I'm going to start here. I'm going to show you how to do a stem that has lazy daisies coming out of it. So you start right here by putting your needle in. Now in this case, the stem is bowing upward. So what we're going to do is we're going to start out with the bulk of our thread below our needle, because the stem stitch or the outline stitch is a way that we sculpt the direction that our thread goes. You go slightly longer than a regular stitch, and then you push down slightly longer, and you come back up halfway between the 2 points. And as I said, we're going to use our thumb to hold our thread down below the stitch. We're going to tighten it just a little bit. Now then, we're going to come again, this time not so long, halfway forward, whole way forward, halfway back. So what we're going to do, and this time I believe, because it's beginning to arch up, I believe just from experience that we need to hold our thread on the other side. But I'm going to show you something. That worked okay. Now, if you do a stitch and you decide your needle needs to be on the other side, just push your needle beneath the stem and beneath the seam you sewed, pull your thread through, then you can correct which side your thread is on. Now I'm going to take that stem all the way up, and then this time you have to look. You have to look. Use your eyes, use your head. If it seems if the needle doesn't seem to be sculpting the thread in the direction you want it to go, change where the thread is. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way to the end.